Hey, what's up guys? My name is Jamey Arent, and today I'm going to show you how to play my original tune, The Back Burner. This song is the title track off of my debut EP, and I've gotten a few requests from you guys in the comments section wanting to know how I play it. So here's a lesson breaking down how to play all the different guitar parts of this tune. So this song, The Back Burner, is influenced by the meters. It's a syncopated New Orleans funk kind of thing. And it's got 3 different sections. So I'll show you each section and how I play it, as well as some tips on how to solo over the soloing changes. So for the first section, the A section, we start out with this little 3-note chord. This is kind of like maybe a G sus, but the bass player is just playing D or pedaling D throughout this whole section. So I kind of think of it as a D minor 11, but the notes are C, D, and G. Then the second chord, all you do is move your 3rd finger down a half step or 1 fret, and you get this little G triad. This song starts with a pickup measure, so I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So when you hear me count it in and I say 1, that's why. So we go from this D minor 11 to this G triad comprised of B, D, and G, to this F triad, which is just taking that G triad and moving it down a whole step or 2 frets. So then the next little line is a D, an A, and then C and A together, and A and D together. So I keep that A ringing. You could play it single note if you wanted. But I really like having that little extra A ringing in there. So from there, I'm going to move my 3rd finger and pinky down another whole step. So we're going to go from the 7th fret to the 5th fret. And those notes are G and C. And G and C become G and B. So you'll lift off your pinky off of the 5th fret of the 3rd string and play with the 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. And then the other important thing to know is that when I go from that C to the D, I hammer on with my pinky. So my 1st finger is holding down the C on the 3rd string, but then my pinky hammers on to play the D. Then we're going to take that 3rd finger and pinky shape and move it down a whole step or 2 frets to get G and C. And then that'll become G and B. So all I'm doing is taking my pinky, lifting it off, and putting my 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string instead. So here's what we have so far. 3, 4, 1. Do it one more time slowly. 3, 4, 1. And then I play this little line. And it's important that this line is played staccato, meaning all the notes are short. And I also lay it back a little bit, which means I'm kind of dragging on the beat. And I'm playing these all with downstrokes. And the reason I'm playing them all with downstrokes instead of alternate picking is to really accentuate each note. And so they really pop and they're really nice and staccato. You can tell that I'm just playing them almost with a little bit of palm muting to keep them really short. And those notes are C, B, A, G, F, D, C. And when I get to that F, I do a little trill, a little hammer-on trill. It's the 3rd fret to the 4th fret, or F to F sharp. After this little riff, we're going to jump back to the top. But then we're going to jump to this B flat add 9 chord, comprised of F, B flat, C, and F again. And then I turn that into an F chord. And then do the same thing up a whole step, up 2 frets. It becomes C add 9 to G. And sometimes I'll move my first finger over and play the full B flat chord, and the F with my thumb playing the bass. But sometimes I'll just play the top 4 strings. And the trickiest thing about this part is the rhythm. It's very syncopated. Da, 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 da. And I play these little da. So I'll slow it down so you can see my strumming hand. So it's down, down, up, up. And then I double the bass here and play A, C, D. So we have we do that again. Then again. Then we're going to take this pattern in the same rhythm, then move it up to the 6th fret, E flat to B flat, and then up to the 8th fret, F to C. So we got So that A section happens 3 times total. The first time and the second time are the same, but the third time we go into this elongated ending. So let me play those 3 A sections together so you can see, break it down, and then let's take a look at the B section. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that leads us into the B section. And the B section has 2 guitar parts. One is doubling the bass and one is a little chordal thing. So here's the part doubling the bass. So this part, that little riff, I'm playing a G and sliding into a B, D, E, and then I jump down to the 3rd fret for the F, and then G, G, F, D. And I'm picking close to the bridge, which gives a real staccato sound. This is influenced by John Scofield and Eric Krasno. And I'm also trying to emulate the sound of a clavinet, the way a keyboard player would play, with kind of a real bouncy staccato. And sometimes on that A, I do a little slide from the B flat. And from there, I just get this little 3-note B flat 7, just the root, B flat, the flatted 7th, A flat, and the 3rd D. And I just walk that down in half steps down 4 frets. So B flat, A flat, and then back to the riff in G. So it's B flat 4 times, A twice, A flat twice, and then back to the riff. Like every section of the song, that happens 3 times, and the 3rd time is a little different. So here's the B section, first guitar part. Happens again. And then the 3rd time, it just goes B flat to A, and there's a break for a drum fill. So the second guitar part comes in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So what's going on there is this little F9 chord that turns into a G9. So my notes there are F, A, C, and G. And then that becomes F, A, B, and G. So we have the riff. Doom, 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 doom. Dun, 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 dun. So on the... So this is for the second guitar. And then the second little part of that, I play this E and then bend a B flat up a little bit. So the second guitar part, I'll count it in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So those parts complement each other. So the second guitar part is occurring in the spaces of the riff, or the first guitar part. So if you ever want to try that, if you have 2 guitar players, that really is so much fun. I love playing funk with the second guitar player. But it's also fun to just put these parts into a looper. So then after this part, we go back to the A section the 3rd time through. And that brings us to the C section, the 3rd section of the song. And this is another 2 guitar thing, although live I sort of combine the parts. So part 1 is just taking this B minor 11 chord, comprised of B, E, A, and D. And I'm just playing. So here's what's going on there. This is something very influenced by Prince. And I'm taking that chord and I'm strumming constant 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a, all up and down strokes, alternating, but I'm emphasizing certain beats. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And then I'll switch to this little G7 chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So here's that part slow. So that's that little section for the first guitar. The second guitar is playing this riff that doubles the bass. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And back to a G7. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So the first part. Last time that G7 just goes up to an A7. And the lower part, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's kind of how that part goes. You can hear I sometimes do some little muted notes just to keep it percussive in between. But really everything in this song is a nice funky 16th note subdivision. So I'm really keeping my right hand moving like that all the time. Another thing to keep in mind if you're playing this part, you can combine both parts. And this is more what I do live when I don't have two guitar players, which I never do live. And it sounds something like this. 3, 4. Then we're into the solo section, and I'll just give you a little bit of information on the solo section because then the rest of the tune, everything else repeats. So we have a B minor, that goes to a G7 with a sharp 11. Here are a couple ways to play it. So when I solo over this, I usually use this envelope filter, the Love Pedal Rubber Chicken. And I play a B Dorian or B pentatonic scale over the B minor chord. And then over that G7 with the sharp 11, I play a scale called the G Lydian dominant scale, which is also the same thing as a D melodic minor. So those notes are G, A, B, C sharp, D, E, F, and G. So it's called the Lydian dominant because it's Lydian because of the sharp 4 and dominant because of the flat 7. So you could think of this scale as either a D melodic minor. Another way to think of it is a G7 scale or a G Mixolydian scale but with a sharp 4. So in this case, the 4th scale degree, C, is a C sharp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. And that's what I use over this chord. Then the organ solo comes, and that's how I just comp. I just play G7. And then I do that walk down. The organ solo is the same as the B section. But I usually will comp either with this G7 or this G7 chord. And then it's just a couple A sections and that's the end of the tune. So thank you for watching this breakdown, and I'll link below a live performance of this as well as a way to check out the original studio version. And if you learn the song and you record yourself playing it, please tag Backburner Cover and tag me on social media, and I'll be sure to feature your video on my Instagram page. So thanks for watching. Please click subscribe and stay tuned for more lesson videos, gear demos, and live performances. Thanks for watching.